All right, beginning with the Milwaukee Bucks, they are back and forth with the Boston Celtics all year now, currently sitting in number 1 seed, kind of every other person's favorite to take the East, depending on who you ask. They look like they're probably going to take it, and I think they really do want to this year after not getting home court last year when they eventually match up with Boston. And it came around to haunt them. They lost in Boston for the final game. They didn't have that home court again, and I feel like they really care about it a lot more this year after not having it.
You know, when you talk about who's kind of the East favorites right now, I mean, they both kind of have relatively easy schedules left, but Celtics are only 2 games back from the Bucks. And I mean, looking at the rest of the schedule, Milwaukee plays Washington, Chicago, Memphis, and Toronto. Then Boston plays Philly, Toronto twice, and then Atlanta. But like, we can't mistake, obviously, the Toronto team and Atlanta team. I mean, they're both tied, I think, right now, actually, in the East for wins and who's going to get what in that play-in tournament. But Boston holds that tiebreaker too. So if they end up holding and winning more than the Bucks here at the end, I mean, Boston's going to get that number 1 seed, and I think I'd take Boston over the Bucks. You know, I mean, Boston's 29-9 at home right now, and the Bucks are 31-8. So I think it's going to be really important for either of these teams to make a hard push for that first seed.
Do you think whoever gets the home court, if they do eventually match up, will end up winning?
It's a tough call. I mean, I don't, you know, you can never say that, obviously, because the playoffs are different, but they basically have the same home court advantage, and we all know in the past how huge that is to have that. So I don't know, man. Honestly, that's tough. Like, what do you think on that?
I really do think that's how it will go out. I mean, I think it really helped Boston last year. Given Khris Middleton was hurt, Milwaukee didn't have him, and he will be coming back, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. But I think that home court advantage for that specific matchup will be not everything, but it'll be a huge part of who ends up winning it. My opinion again, go ahead.
Do you think the pressure... So do you think going into a playoff series at 0-0, you have home court advantage? Do you think there's more pressure to win those first 2 games? Or you think there's more pressure if the team with the higher seed wins those first 2 games? Do you think it's more pressure than for the team in the lower seed to win those next 2 games? Like, what is more pressure, do you think?
Oh, definitely for the lower seed then, or whoever gets beaten the first 2. I mean, you can't afford to drop 3 in a row and come back from that. I don't think that's ever happened down 3-0. 3-1, I mean, we've seen it a few times here and there, but...
Wait, we have?
Yeah, flashback to 2016, but... Yeah, no, whoever goes down 2-0, I mean, it's still doable, but if you're playing against a team of the caliber of Boston, Milwaukee, I mean, when those 2 are matching up, it's one thing. I mean, the other team could win 2 in a row at their home court as well, but you never want to go down 2-0, and having home court is huge, obviously, for any matchup, let alone a 1 versus 2 seed. And probably an Eastern Conference Finals matchup, I mean, that's the only way they would meet, if given that they're the 1st and 2nd seed, which they will be. But right. I think that will be huge for them.
Like I say, I mean, we talk a lot about how the West is so tight right now, but if you look at the East, man, it's super tight also right now. Not so much, you know, from the 4th seed and down, but I mean, it's all going to depend who gets that first seed, and I think it's super crucial to get that. And I think it's going to be a really good push here towards the end of the season.
Again, it looks like it'll be Milwaukee, and then what I referred to before, Khris Middleton, is he fully healthy? He's looking pretty good since the beginning of March, averaging 19, 5, and 6. But come playoff time, will he be able to be that guy for them again, like he was in the past during their championship run? He finished out games for them, was their shot maker during the 4th quarter. I mean, Giannis, for as good as he is, as dominant as he is, he's not the guy to like take the shot in the final moments. He's not a shot creator really. Bully his way to the rim, but that's not what you do during clutch moments. Jrue Holiday has been that guy for them, but Khris Middleton was the one who did during their championship run. Can he do that again? I'm not sure. I'm really looking forward to seeing if he can do that during round 1 of the playoffs and kind of give everyone a little snippet and a little, you know, flashback of the past from what he did before.
Right. So are the Bucks going to be able to breeze their way through? Say they have to, you know, injury management, quotes, you know, Khris Middleton through the first round of the playoffs, like say they play him a game, he sits a game, play him a game, are they going to be okay to do that for the first couple rounds, do you think? Or does he got to play all the way?
I don't think they're gonna do that, and I think he does have to play all the way. They probably wouldn't need him to beat Toronto or Chicago. I think it would be a lot tougher without him. No, I don't think they'll do that though. I think they've been doing that right now during the regular season in preparation for him to play every game come playoff time. I think that's their plan. I mean, you never know, but that's kind of what they've been building up for here.
Right, and obviously he's going to be crucial for that team, especially if they want to make it to the finals again. I guess my thoughts, I don't think the Bucks are the favorites in the East right now. I think Boston's kind of looking like him, like they're looking like the team right now. And I think, like I said, it's going to be interesting. The Bucks kind of look like they have it. 2 games is a lot to come back from, but anything can happen here with these last few games.
Yeah, kind of a coin flip if they do eventually match up. I mean, they match up really well with each other. And Al Horford and Grant Williams did well on Giannis last year, but again, no Khris Middleton. Some people believe that'll make a big difference. Other people don't believe it will. I'm kind of more on the side of that it will. For that specific matchup anyways. I mean, again, you can argue Khris Middleton is what he was post-injury now, but I think for that specific matchup, Khris Middleton will help a lot.